Liftoff and the clock has started.
Go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Vobes, One-Eyed Kenobi Showbie with me, Richard Vobes. And I'm most likely going to be flying solo this evening, although, of course, the lovely Julia may turn up remotely from her place in Lansing. Who knows? She's tackling not little Elijah, little Geronimo Joe on her own this evening, so it may be difficult, but she may make an appearance, who knows. Anyway, it's just me to begin with, and you, the lovely viewer. And it's so nice to have you there, lovely viewer, sitting there in your smoking jacket and your Persian slippers, sitting in your favourite armchair with a favourite newspaper by your side and your Knickerbocker glories on one side, your box of matches and a big pile of shag in the other, your meerschaum pipe merely fingers tips away, ready to puff away those weary hours after a long day, peering out into the oblivious weather that has been blowing obliviously all day wherever it is you happen to live. And I can absolutely sympathise with you. I know exactly what it's like. But there we are. It's nice to have you there with us this evening. Now, Friday, we do have some videos for you, of course. Pete Telling has his favourite walk in Fareham Creek to have a look at, which will be interesting. Bonnie is out in her beach hut, peering out into the bright summer weather. We will be enjoying some of that beautiful sunshine. And Ray of Hope has got us a little bit of country music. Oh, that's right, it's country music it is. It's like the Wurzels are down there in the West Country. At least I think it's in the West Country. I'm not too sure. See, he'd be singing a song about combine harvesters and all the Scrumpy Jack and all of that is what he's going to be doing the song. I think he does a little bit of a dance in it as well. Not too sure, though the camera, of course, is purely focused on the keyboard, but he may well do a bit of a dance. My left eye is, my false eye is giving me jip this evening, so if you see me poke around in there, if you see me hoik it out, spit on it, clean it with a bit of elbow grease, you'll know what's going on. I don't know quite why it's been giving me a bit of jip, but it has. It may just drop off, so if you think I'm winking at you throughout the show, you'll know what's going on. We better do a roll call. A roll call! The lovely Julia's not here to do the roll call. I'm going to just keep an eye on the studio sidekick, in case she suddenly turns up, of course, because you never know. So, who have we got out there in the Vobosphere who's peering in at this poor bloke here, sitting in on a Friday, when I could be down the nightclubs with my mask on and my double jabs in my 2 Jags? Let's find out. We have a number of people. I'm going to scrolly up to the topsy, and of course the lovely Julia and Judith are out there making sure that everyone is playing the game, whatever that game is, sitting on a nimbus, peering down at us and making sure nothing goes wrong. Alison O'Brien is out there, who's very tired this evening. Sorry to hear that, Alison. Very tired and a bit wearisome, and her dear old knees are knocking away, and she keeps getting up and thinking, who's that at the door? And it's actually nobody at the door. It's not those kids that knock and run. No, it's just her knees banging together in the wind. That's what happens if you have loose knees, you see. Loose knees makes you sneeze. Anyway, Lord Geoffrey is also out there. He's saying evening, and of course we're all doffing our cap and pulling on our tuft of hair, the forelock that grows out the forward of our heads. It's all right there, Lordship. Nothing amiss at the moment. I expect you be going in now, sir, to watch the old Vobe show. Is that what you be doing this evening? Whilst I'm out there tilling the field for you, your Lordship. Obviously, that it must get very, very blasé with all those people who are bowing and scraping. Oh, yes, master. Would you like your dinner now, then, would you? Yes, master. I will go and fetch it for you. We've got the fatted cow and the fitted fish. I don't know what we fitted the fish with, sir, master. The cook has had an awful time with it. I should say so. An awful time I've had. Yes, you see, master, she's had an awful time. It was bloody hard work getting the trout to come out. Oh, you see, the trout took a long time to come out, master. Oh, I can concur with that. Only after 3 attempts. Anyway, that's the world of Lord Geoffrey Harrison, as you have no doubt noticed. And if you've ever passed his huge estate, you will have seen all that bowing and scraping and those people who are bent double, never daring to straighten, should his lordship peer out of one of those Georgian windows of his and see somebody standing upright and proud. Get on your knees, you snivelling man. Oh, your lordship, I'm so sorry, your lordship. Will you ever forgive me? No, unforgivable. Get on your knees, or I set the dogs on you. Oh, no, master. Please, don't set the dogs on me. They'll chew up my elbow, and they'll nibble my toes. I can't bear it, sir. Please let me go back and attend to the horses. Please don't make the dogs make mincemeat out of me. Well, I'm going into the kitchen myself to make some more of my own bread. The bloody cook's no good at making bread. Oh, yes, I am, sir. You just don't let me near your automatic machine. Well, I don't. You keep quiet, woman. Anyway, sorry, I went into a world of fantasy. Is it 9:30 now? Well, thanks so much for watching. It's been a great show. I've enjoyed every last moment of it. The phone calls were fantastic, and the videos, super duper. I can't remember if I told you we had videos, but we will get to those a bit later on. What were we doing? Oh, yes, that's right. We were doing the roll call. It's so easy to forget on a show like this, you know. So many interruptions. Anyway, not only is Lord Jeffrey there, but Daniel Watkins is also out there. Hello, Daniel. Nice to see you there. Colonel Craig Ratty, who made a huge error of giving me a call and not realising that it was £2.50 a second to ring this number. 07934746790. Ray of Hope is also there, primed to play an accompanying music, melodrama music, as I go into sort of flights of fantasy. There he is on the keyboard going dun 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 dun. Oh no, that was a bit of Dick Barton's Secret Agent and his three chums, Jock and Snowy. Kerry Baldwin is also there. She's saying hello to lovely people, which is very nice because they are lovely. Anna Jones joins her, sitting there, making sure that the chairs are all sanitised and nice and clean. We have Henry Ashincourt putting down his long bow and his two-fingered salute, making sure that the Frenchies know their place. And with Station Master's Choice has got the ferret Maestro on his knees, stroking the little Maestro as the ferret eyes up his beard. Simon says, woo, wow, I'm a bit early, which is always nice, while Michael White is cowering behind Nigel Sadler, who's concerned about the craziness on the show. There will be no craziness on a show like this. None at all. This is as serious as the BBC News. This is the BBC Home Service. And now, a programme for older listeners. Yes, it is the Vobes show with people watching like Mark Burgess and Jen Coley, good old Genevieve. And we've said a number of these people who I'm now scanning past. And Ernie Sammet, it's always nice to see you. Daniel Watkins, I've said you don't get a repeat fee for having the name again. Sensible Paul, who says, it's windy out here, and it's windy, and Mr. Crimson's hail says it's the windows broken all of the time. I'm afraid Sensible Paul has now been blown to next week. With any luck, he's taken the numbers of the lottery with him, and we can all find out if he's a multi-millionaire. Well, plenty of air in the wind. Davey Vad Stuff and Nonsense, blimey, says, hello people. Patrick Brooks is also there. We do like the stuff and nonsense, that's great. What else have we got? Graham Whittington, hello to you. He's brought his lens art focused on us like we are a bunch of locusts. Ron Langley, who's sort of in Bognor, but more in Alnwick, which apparently is part of Bognor. I got told off the other day for saying that, but it's nice to see you there. Clive Waterfall, he says, hi all, let's see if live chat is allowing me in this evening. No, we can't see you at all. I didn't even know you were there. I mean, fancy lurking in the background. Lurky. And Ian Dance, evening peeps, Flappy Goose, Kathy B. We also, no doubt, have Michael Thornley, which is great to see. And a number of other people. Audrey Forbes, marvellous to see you. And I think I've missed out Stars B. There we go. Missed out Stars B, Daily Walker, and I'm sure a number of others who I have inadvertently skipped past. Linda Kane. How could you possibly miss lovely Miss Whiplash herself? Linda Kane, you know, with the cane. 6 of the best for the Vobes. I must not miss out Linda Kane next time, otherwise she'll be dressed in her leathers. Stop that fantasy, I must get rid of it out of my head. I don't know how you managed to place it into my head. Bonnie says, I'm here. I find it's best to stuff a nonsense with sage and onion. Yes, a very good idea. Plenty of sage and onion in this show. Indeed. In fact, I made a pie. You remember when I made that wonderful pie with the lovely Julia, and well, she and I made it together. I can't take all the credit, although obviously I will do my best to do so. And we made that whatever it was, the apple and blueberry and blackberry and goodness knows what berry pie. Well, I mean, I'm almost ready to be in the pie myself. Look at the colours of me today. Yes, I'm looking. Yes, I can see. But I made a steak. Not a mistake. I often make plenty of mistakes, but I made a steak and what are those long things? Leek. Steak, leek, onion, and pea pie. A pea. I won't tell you where the pea came from. I'll have a pea, please, Bob. No, you won't. You sit over there and wait your turn.
Oh, but I want a pea.
No, you can't. You should have gone before the show started. We're in the studio now, and please clear up that puddle by your feet.
I want a pea.
Stop it. I do apologise. Bonnie says, I wonder if who made the first pie. Was it by accident? Oh, well, you can imagine the scene, can you not? Probably in some Frenchman's house. If you go to the wobble wobble screen. Wobble, 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 wobble.
You know what I'm going to do today. I am going to create something. But what is it that I will create? I have no clue. So let us, I would say, get some random ingredients. C'est magnifique. Magnifique.
No, I didn't ask you to say magnifique, you snivelling little twit. I was just saying it is magnificent. It is wonderful. It is great that I've got some plain flours, some lard, and some butter straight from the cow. Although it has been mangled up by whatever its process of magicness that it is to make a butter. And what else am I needing? A big bowl. And, I just put a bit of these and a bit of that and a bit of the other and squiggly, squiggly, squiggly. Look at that. I've made us some dough.
How much dough have you made?
Not that kind of dough, you stupid person who's no longer French.
I am so sorry. I was a French earlier and then I changed.
Now you sound Italian. What is the matter with you?
I'm just a figment of your imagination. I am just a squeaky voice coming out the corner of your mouth.
Yes, that may be true. You have a point. We have made some dough. I'm going to shove it in the fridge and maybe come back to it after I have stewed these plums and these rhubarb. Look at these. It's so round. What I need is to... Clearly, I must roll it. To give me the rolling pin. Donk! Oh! Nay, not onto the head, you stupid idiot. Into my hand. There. Roll it, roll it, roll it. I do not know what to do now. Maybe shove this in there and it looks a bit like a Cornish pasty, but we cannot do that. The Cornish will say they claim it first. No, we will shove it in the oven and forget about it. Oh no, look, it's on fire. Quick, take it out. Oh, smells so nice. It's not so English. Stick some custard on it. We'll have it later. I think that's probably how that is the wobble, wobble, wobble back. Sorry, back from the... I think that's how it all happened. Pretty convinced. Yes, it's the Vobes show, ladies and gentlemen. And in today's show, it is, of course, we've switched round from Wednesdays. Now, the lovely Julia comes in on a Wednesday. So it is one of those things where you can say to me, what is your opinion?
What's your opinion?
What's my opinion? What? What is my opinion? You can suggest a subject, you can call in and say, here, Richard, what's your opinion on this? And I will give you a frank and honest opinion that I have made up on the spot. Meanwhile, let us have a look and see what's going on in the world of the Vobosphere. And Jonathan Fox has arrived, which is fantastic, nice to see. Station Master's Choice says, yes, it was 3:14, times the size of today's pie. Not quite sure what he's on about. Peter Sellers, says Ron Langley, comes to mind. Sean James Cameron has just ordered fish and chips. Bonnie has got high pie, pie. Not quite sure where that went. And Sensible Paul has spoken like a true Frenchman, which is... You need a dialect book to understand what region that came from. And a certain panther, says Station Master's Choice, has dyed his coat and is hiding in the corner saying, oh dear, what did stat? Yeah. Well, when that's been deciphered, maybe someone could let me know what that's about. Flappy Goose says, I'm popping up the shops. Want anything? Yes, please. I'd like some entertainment, please, in a bag. Could you ask for a big bag of entertainment, see if they've got in it? Here we go. Stars Bees, what's your opinion on electric vehicles? Well, I would say don't stick your fingers into the fuses because you might get a shock. I bet the prices are high. On electric vehicles. Do you mean electric cars? Do you mean the fact that we've all got to get rid of our lovely gas guzzlers? Is that what you mean? Yes, I think that's... I don't know what I think about it, really. They seem a bit cumbersome and a bit problematic if we all shift within 10 years. I think we probably need more like 30 years to get the shift because the infrastructure is not going to be there, and I don't think anyone's really worked out how we're going to power them. I know they say electric, but the trouble is, you know what will happen, especially with the government we got at the moment who wears flip-flops one day and flop-flips the next day, is we'll all buy and we'll all get rid of all of this stuff, and then suddenly we'll go... Ow, the wind isn't blowing. It was blowing on August the 6th, 2021, but it's not blowing today. What we need to do is get everyone to change their cars now. Electric's no good. Hydrogen. Oh, hi, how are you? Yes, I'm fine, thanks, Dridgen. It's nice to see you, by the way, Dridgen. Could you not change your name? It's a very difficult name to say, Dridgen. Oh, all right then. Yes, I'm not convinced. I think electric cars are a nice novelty. We've seen, apparently, some Teslas. I don't really know what a Tesla is, to be honest with you. I know it's a car. I've seen some of them. They've been pointed to me when I've been there going, oh, look, there's a Tesla. And it's like, is that the same as an Allegro? What's so special about a Tesla? I thought a Tesla was that it's a long... What was that song? Oh, no, that was Telstar. Down, 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 down. I thought that was Tesla. No, that's Telstar. You see, if you get your jokes all mixed up in the wrong order, then you're going to have severe problems. What I meant to say is, what do I start? What did I start, says Station Master's Choice. I don't know, what did you start? Have you been outside starting a fight again? Did you say, oi, you, fight? They were the days, eh? Sean James says he wants some HP sauce. Somebody just went out to the shops. Who was that? Can you get some HP Houses of Parliament sauce, that is, for those of you who don't know. Colonel Craig Ratty says, what's your opinion? What is your opinion? We are doing the what's your opinion, by the way, just in case you missed it. What's my opinion? Of that £2.50 per second phone charge will be easily offset by my bill in the post for hire of my workshop and time on Thursday. I don't know what he's talking about. I have no idea. I don't think there was any record of me actually being at your place, if you're honest about it. I don't think there is any public record on video at all, here, there, or anywhere that I was... what did you say? Oh, on today's video. Yeah, there is absolutely, categorically, lots of evidence that I was there. I never denied that. I never said that I wasn't there. And of course it will be offset by your bill. Of course it will. So I don't have an opinion on that. Bonnie H says, should tea have milk put in first or last, or no milk and just butter? You don't put butter in tea. I'll give you that for nothing. Now, I'm going to do the tea thing. It's an old boring thing, but this is how you should do tea, and I'll tell you, and you don't have to. It depends. Okay, there we are. That was the tea thing, the Ofcom rules about tea. No, sorry, tea. I'll tell you the thing about tea is you've got to put the hot water onto the leaf. Now, if you have a teapot, you have put the hot water onto the leaves in the teapot. So then when you pour it out of the teapot, you can put milk in first in the cup because you've already immersed the tea leaves. If you're using a tea bag in a cup with a kettle of boiling water, you put the hot water first onto the tea so it can steep, and then you add the milk. Can't be clearer. But you do get some people getting confused when you use a pot and they go, oh, but aren't you supposed to put the water on? But no, you don't put the milk in the teapot with the tea. And if you did, you could do it, but you'd have to put it after you put the hot water on. Got it? Capiche. Thanks. David Vad says, hey, Bonnie, how does it go with Rico? I don't know what Rico is. Hydrogen is far too dangerous and volatile to be used safely, says Station Master's Choice. I think don't they use hydrogen in water? Don't they use it? Seems safe in water. H2O, isn't that part of the water thing? if I remember. Jonathan Fox says, what about cyclists? What about them? What is my opinion on cyclists? Get them off the roads, as I say. Don't let them go on the downs. Well, where would you put them? Don't put them on the pavement. Cyclists. I mean, I have cycled. I mean, if there are cycle lanes, go in the cycle lanes. But then at the same time, I do cycle on the road because the cycle lanes are full of slow people. So I don't know. When I'm driving, I understand there's a cyclist, and I will make way for the cyclist, provided they also make. But I find, if I'm on my bike, you started something here. You shouldn't have done this. If I'm on my bike cycling away, and I hear a car behind me, and there's a bit of a thin area coming up, I know that the car is going to get frustrated trying to overtake. So I will pull in and let them pass. Easy. Because I'm the one that's likely to get knocked off or hurt, regardless that it will all be his fault or whatever. So I do that, but I notice other cyclists just cycle and go, I'm allowed on the road, yeah, I don't pay any road tax, I don't pay any insurance, but I'm allowed on the road. I'm going to go at this price, and you can't get past me because there's bollards on that lane, there's parked cars there, but I don't care. I've got a beard, and I'm on the road in my latex. Well, those cyclists, clearly, I just run them over. I can't bear them, especially if they're on the road in twos. I've been on country roads, and they're like two abreast, cycling away, okay, no traffic around. Then I come, and in my van, and they stay two abreast as if they are a car. We've got four wheels, haven't we, see? Yeah, you're not actually a car, and I am a car, and I've actually paid more towards this road and the trimming of the road and making sure that it is nice for you to actually cycle on. I probably paid in my road tax more than you have ever. I've got a car as well, Well, you might have. But anyway, just move over and let me get past. No, we're allowed on the road. We're cycling on the road. We've got beards and lycra. We're doing as we please. Oh, we're all flattened. Oh, he ran over us. Yes, you idiot. You didn't get off the sodding road. I would make cyclists pay. That's what I would do. If you're a cyclist, I would make you... I would pay, happily, not the same as, obviously, road people, but I think cyclists should pay a lump sum in order to ride on the road. If they're going to ride on the road, they should pay something, 50 quid a year to ride on the road, which would pay for a bit of insurance for them and contribute towards road tax. I think if they paid a bit to be on the road, they might ride a bit more safely. We're probably going to get a whole load of people who are going, oh, Richard, I completely agree with you, and I'm unsubscribing, and as for my patronage, I'm taking it away. Well, you're allowed to disagree with me, by the way. You don't have to agree with me, you can disagree. And you can give us a call, Sat on a ferret the other day, I sat on a ferret in the month of May, I sat on a ferret, sat on a ferret.
You are watching the Vobes show. Call us now on 0793 47 46 790. We're waiting to hear from you.
Yes, give us a call. It'd be lovely to hear from you. Bonnie says, what about horse riders? Should they pay? Quite right, they should pay. They're on the road, aren't they? They're taking up road space. They're slowing the traffic down with their horses who are nervous of cars. And we're all slowing down for them. Quite rightly so, because they are animals and we don't want to upset them. The horses are all right. I've got no problem with the horses. They didn't ask to come out on the road. The horses don't have to pay. The horses are exempt. The riders, on the other hand, or the stables that have them, I think they should pay a flat fee. I don't know what it would be. Maybe same amount, 50 quid, give them the rights so that they're insured. If their rider falls off, they could say, do you know what? I fell off the road because there was a hole in it. Maybe some of that could go towards the pothole status. All that money should be ring-fenced to keep the roads in good order, like a toll. Basically, it's the same as ye oldie days when you had a toll. Have you seen cyclists in London, says Ron Langley. They go through red lights, some of them. Yeah, they do that down here as well. I think, there are good ones and there are bad ones. Michael White says £59 per wheel. Oh, well, there we are. If you're on a tricycle, not so good. Best thing then would to be go tandem, wouldn't it? Graham Cass says, I would keep to tracks, but you motorists have turned them all into roads. Well, I think that's a good point, actually, Graham. I mean, I'm not against cyclists for cycling. I just think that a lot of them, and of course I'm not saying all of them, mainly the ones with the beards and the lycra, why do they all have this sort of Van Dyke pointy face? Have you seen them? The ones that think they're in the Tour de France, who all sort of ride like this, you know, instead of riding on a bike and enjoying the place and going, oh, look at that lovely scenery over there, isn't this lovely? Oh, this is marvellous, and all of that. No, you get these cyclists who are down here like this. They're hunched over. Their testosterone levels have gone down. They can't get erections anymore because of the pressure on the balls that have caused chaos and mayhem. Hang on, I need to get my headphones. Anybody ringing in at this precise moment will wonder what the hell they've just called into. Yeah, these cyclists, I despair of that. I hope you're not one of those, Graham. Hello, caller. Welcome to the Vobes Show.
It's Sadler here.
Oh, it's Sadler. On the saddle, no doubt, cycling away, peddling your wares. How are you?
You consider yourself a bit of an environmentalist.
Do
don't
I?
you?
Do I?
Well, countryside, nature, heritage.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, you got me there. Oh, dear.
We're always complaining about, sorry about the noise of the traffic in the background.
Terrible. Yes, absolutely. The hypocrisy of the man.
Oh no, and this bypass that's going through this wood. Terrible thing.
Dreadful thing. Yes, those whistling wheels of those cyclists going past, ringing their bells. Ping, ping.
And you seem to have a thing against lycra, which I don't understand, but there we go.
Yeah. You don't understand the thing against lycra?
No, well.
Do you?
It's
Are
garish, I
you?
agree, but it's extremely
Are you a lycra wearer? Let's have the truth.
I haven't worn lycra in a long, long time.
Right.
I wear a fluorescent jacket.
A fluorescent jacket.
Jacket.
Oh, jacket. Sorry, I just cut out. Oh, a jacket. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? So we can see
Absolutely.
you. Absolutely.
I mean, lycra is a perfectly practical thing when you're cycling.
Yeah. Is it?
In the same way as you wear sensible shoes when you go for a long distance country walk, you wouldn't go out in your flip flops.
No, that's true. I don't actually own any flip flops.
Well, I hope you don't.
No.
But wearing the right clothing, if you're going to do we're not talking about a few miles here and a few miles there, but if you're going to do a 50-mile ride today,
but they all wear. Why is it with cyclists and wanting to wear clothes that are very tight-fitting and have the brand name in very odd places? They all wear these they're all souped up with people's brand. I assume they're being paid by those brands to advertise them as they cycle past people as mobile billboards.
I totally agree with the branding, although not many people do wear branding. They're frequently wearing a club.
A club?
T-shirt. So if they're with the wording cycling club, WCC say, then they might have a WCC branded top, if there is such a thing. When they go out on their Sunday 50-mile ride to go to Brighton and Lewis and Hurstpier Point and then to West Shieldington and back down to Worthing again, which is perhaps a typical Sunday ride, then they're probably all going to be wearing their club regalia, much like the Boy Scouts will be wearing their scout uniform and so on and so forth. So that is a thing. And of course, it tends to be rather visual because it does aid motorists to get their attention. So
well, if there's 50 of them riding on their cycle ride, you can't help but to get their attention because you're going, oh, for God's sake, we're all going at a snail's pace now as we clamber up this bloody hill. And what okay, tell me this then. Here's a couple of questions about cyclists, which I'd like to. By the way, can I just say this for those people who are getting very hot under the collar? This is what I call entertainment. You don't have to take me too seriously. Now, here's the two. I have to say that, isn't it funny? You have to say caveats so people don't get a bit annoyed with you. Here's the thing. I did a shortcut the other day from Worthing, you probably know this, over the Sompting Hills to get down to Stenning and across. So you go over the back road, a little wiggly road, up that very steep hill. And you always see, you're coming down the hill in your van or whatever mode of vehicular transport you happen to have, and you come, and there's always some cyclist, a cyclist struggling on going up the hill, this is the hardest route. You picked the most complicated, hardest route. You can barely keep the bike upright. It's wobbling so much. You're putting your foot down every 2 seconds to make sure you don't fall into the bushes or in the way of a black transit van hurtling down at speed. And they're sweating and they're smelly, and you can see the gnats and the flies humming around them, and they're desperately trying to suck on water and breathe, and in between all that red face of them as they're clambering up this hill going, oh, oh. And then you just happen to sort of peer out the window and say, morning, and they go, and then they get to the top, and you just think, if they stuck to the A27, they wouldn't have that problem. The question in all that is, why do they go up these very steep hills?
Because it's there.
Oh, because it's there. Yes, of course. I didn't realise.
No, it's a challenge, and I take my hat off to them. When I see a cyclist working hard and I'm not on my bike, I think, good for you. I mean, that's a hard job you're doing there, and well done for doing it. You don't have to necessarily know why they're doing it.
No.
They could be doing it because they live at the bottom of the hill and the work's at the top of the hill, or vice versa.
That's very true.
Getting from A to B, when they chose to do it on a bicycle rather than walk it, and they haven't got a pony to ride.
You've got me there. Yeah, and they're environmentally friendly and all. Why have they got beards? Why do they all have these Van Dyke beards? What's that all about?
Well, that is a funny old thing.
Is it to keep their chins? I mean, they've got these ridiculous hats that make them look like the Sea Devils from the Doctor Who series. Do you remember that? They've all got these hats that seem to go back about 20 feet behind them to give the impression that they're part of a slipstream. And then they've got their goggles on sometimes, and then there's these beards. And they all look about they're 65, desperately trying to show that they're manly. That's the impression I get. They're all these sort of just coming up to retirement types. They've got these very, very lightweight bikes. And I always think, why don't they get heavy bikes? Why don't they want the exercise. You get an old-fashioned bike from the 40s with 3 gears or none, and you get up that hill. You'll get the exercise. Don't have 400 gears and go, it's very easy. I can go faster than the car. Well, what's the point? Go by car. Get a bus. Go on a train. Don't need all that. Spend all that money. You get a 40 quid bike from down the road, TMS Bikes in Teville Road, and you get as much exercise as you need. Your thighs will be huge. You wouldn't be able to get in the Lycra. You wouldn't be able to get in it. It wouldn't stretch that wide.
Indeed. Now, another parallel, but slightly different tack.
Thank you.
Than Lycra and all those sort of things.
Yes.
You visit lots of country villages. Many of us also visit historic towns and the like, which is invariably has been plagued by traffic.
Yes.
The posher historic towns have got now pedestrianisation in the middle to keep the vehicles out, and they've got bypasses to certain degrees, whether it's an internal bypass or eventually a much further external bypass, or in Arundel's case, planning having a bypass to bypass the bypass. It seems to be that we're making more and more complications in our life, trying to come up with technology to solve the technological problem that we've made for ourselves. In other words, until 100 years ago, human-powered transport, and if you were posh, an equine transport, to get on your horse, was the main way of going around. The bicycle was then invented, which in 1886 eventually formed itself into the so-called Starley diamond-framed bike, which is the basis of which the majority of bicycles are formed.
Apart from the penny farthing.
Yeah, that was a predecessor.
Oh, beg your pardon. Beg your pardon. I stand corrected.
Because there were 3-wheeled ones and 4-wheeled ones and all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
You've seen those exotic pictures from the mid-19th century of these various ways of perambulating around on velocipedes. Using all the big words tonight.
You are. I'm just waiting for you to get to the point. What was the point about this? Since 100 years ago, man, what was the technology we were you said something about the technology we're trying to eradicate.
Going back to human-powered transport, wouldn't it be nice in certainly our more historic towns and villages that if you worked out that the road, we'll call it the road, the highway, was designed first for people to walk along.
Yeah.
Secondly, for horses. Thirdly, for human-powered vehicles. which could be bicycles, which could be scooters, it could be roller skates in our modern terminology.
So we go back to the man with the red flag going, "Hey, everybody, we're coming down Montague Street, and this is a van. You may not have seen one before, but it's actually quite important that it gets to the Poundland shop because it's got all the cheap crap that you want to buy in it. So make way."
That can come round the back.
Oh,
yeah,
right,
but there
okay.
are then there are other times when other vehicles can use the road, but in the majority case, we're trying to stick with the human-powered forms of transport.
I would like to have go-karts. I would
like.
like to have pedalled go-karts, human-powered pedalled or electric go-kart. I wouldn't mind electric. Small battery.
Go back to the Sinclair C5.
Exactly. You know, why did we...
It's just a shame it didn't work.
What didn't work? It did work for a bit. It just wouldn't work in conjunction with everything else, though, would it? Wouldn't sit very comfortably next to a black van that is identifying as black. Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you. It identifies as black because it is black. There's no question about it. It's absence of colours, you see. That's what makes it black. Anyway, so I think, you know, if you had a small, like this Sinclair C5, if you've only just got you and a parcel shelf at the back, a little electric, you know, it won't take forever to charge up. You only need it to go about 30 miles an hour. Pootle around. If you need a longer journey, maybe at the edge of the town and the edge of the village, you have that's where you have your vehicle dumps, and you pick up a vehicle that will go 60 miles an hour. You don't need to go any faster. Why go faster than a black van? And then you could just travel up to Horsham from Worthing quite happily, you know. And who needs to go further than that? Apart from me. I mean, who, you know, one rule for them, one rule for me.
Well, that's exactly. I think we all travel around a bit too much. And we only do it because we can.
Yeah, that's true. Bonnie wants a sedan chair. Well, you need...
Bonnie, I am loving your comments, Bonnie. I'm agreeing with everything you're saying so far.
Well, as long as you've got two strong people who can lift you up and don't mind being used as effectively slaves or servants, I think that's a bit, you know, much rather that you sat in the chair and pedalled it yourself.
Well,
you're going to get fit. You're going to get fit. You can eat your vegan diet at the same time, because otherwise, if you're in a sedan chair, those two blokes holding it up, if they are blokes, they might be very strong ladies. I'm not saying one way or another, but they would probably need to eat a bit more red meat, because I don't think you're going to do it on a nut cutlet. I don't know why I brought veganism into it, but I thought I'd throw that in.
Absolutely, no. Avoid, skirt around that subject.
Yeah. Well, I knew somebody would bring it in, so I thought I'd bring it in myself. Absolutely. At least with a horse, you have something for the roses, says Michael White, which is true.
Very true.
Sean James Cameron rather says, what happened to the Sinclair? What happened to the Sinclair C5?
Well, it unfortunately was a thing not of its time because it didn't succeed.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it?
All the principles were right. All the principles right. They even had local dealers repairing it because it had Hoover vacuum cleaner motors in them, and therefore any vacuum cleaner dealer, and Hoover's dealers were on every corner back in those days, like there used to be gas board shops on every high street. Remember that? And seaboard shops for the electricity.
Oh yeah, Rumbelows.
Rumbelows, yes, all those things back in the day.
Well, that would be brilliant, wouldn't it? To have one of those with a Hoover-based engine cleaning the road as you go. It could clean the air at the same time. Wouldn't that? That'd be marvellous.
Cars that claim to do that. Cars that claim to do that.
Oh, do they? My van does it, unless I open the window, and I've had beans earlier that day, and then I'm replacing the air with something less savoury. Colonel Craig Ratty says, if everyone went back to using a horse, we could be waist deep in horse poo on the M27. We would need somebody to... the farmers wouldn't need to be putting in artificial insemination into their fields or whatever it is. They could shove in, this horse manure that is being gathering on the M27. And also, those smart motorways wouldn't be holding us up. I mean, you may as well go on a horse, because the smart motorways, with the implementation of where it says... I took Julia to Fareham the other day, and on the side there was a sign saying... what was it saying? It said something about it putting in technology.
Yes.
Is what it said. I thought...
Slow you down.
It said I can't remember what was the word. It was two words, something inputting technology or something, or something like that. And I just thought, what are you talking about? even the tarmac on the road is technology. Technology went in to create that. You know.
Yeah, the technology, tarmac was invented for cyclists.
Yeah, there you go. See, installing technology is what it said.
The
That's right.
pneumatic tyre was invented for cyclists.
Yes.
And then the spin-off was all these motorists then decided to use it as well.
Yeah, good for them. Good idea. Well, anyway, none of this is actually ever going to happen, but I dream of non-motorised highways, says the lovely Julia. And Ray of Hope says the C5 failed because the battery technology could not provide sufficient power and range. I imagine that would be different now, wouldn't it?
It was quite. We have Teslas. Imagine personal Teslas. That would be rather fun.
Small ones.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. They're not all electric cars are Teslas, are they? They are made by other companies, aren't they? No. I don't really understand. I don't really know much about the Tesla, to be honest with you. I mean, it's just...
It's the posh end of the range.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I wouldn't want a posh car. I just want a transit Tesla would be all right. I can see Richard on an electric skateboard. No, you can't. You must have grit in your eye. Simon says, I got rid of my Hoover. It just collected dust. But boom, tish. Yes, that's another reason. We better go and play a video or do something. But Nigel, thank you for defending cyclists. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Tried.
You did. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was great. I didn't know about the lycra that you used to wear. We'd like to see a picture. Could you send a picture of you in lycra? It would be lovely.
I'm sure I can find one. Be very old, but yes.
That would be, yeah, there we are.
Do cycle touring. Yes, I cycled around Greece, bits of Greece, the island of Crete, to be more precise.
More slipping round there, wouldn't it be?
Eastern Canada.
Oh, Eastern Canada with the geese. You could have flown on a goose, couldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Could do.
Can't be taken on holiday. Yes, brilliant. All right. Well, thank you for that, Nigel. We're going to go and have a look at one of our videos and let's see.
Definitely.
Make a choice. I'm going to give you P, B, or R. What would you like?
R, please.
Ah, righto. Fantastic. That will be a ray of hope. We're going to have a bit of country music from down there in Somerset with the Wurzels. Or might be American country, it doesn't actually say. But thank you very much, young fella, my lad. It's nice to talk to you on a Friday evening. Oh, before you go, as you've been promoting cyclists, I must just point out you've been ripping round the countryside in a massive gas-guzzling, great big motorhome.
Oh, it's hideous, yes, but we did it.
We did it. Was it fun?
Well, we didn't kill each other. Yeah, it was fine. It was an interesting experience.
How long did you go for?
A week in the end. We were going to do it for longer, but we stopped after a week.
Yeah, you've got fed up with each other's company. So, because you're all in basically a tin box, aren't you? I mean, at least I never get fed up with my own my own company. But here's a question: 1 minute you were in Devizes, or close to Devizes, or somewhere in Wiltshire, and then the next second you were up in blooming Cambridgeshire. What made you do that?
Well, I just
you thought we're going to drive. We want to spend the money on petrol. We're going for it.
It was a case of finding what campsites were available at relatively short notice. Of course, like everybody's going to campsites and they're all fully booked up.
Are they?
We just joined one particular outfit. We joined one of the camping organisations, so we decided to just use their website.
Yeah. And
I just had the parameters of the time we were available, and I just thought, let's stick to Southern Britain. So our first one was in Leatherhead. The second site was in Devizes. We wanted to go to the West Country. We wanted to go near the place where all the caves are. Name's gone completely out of my head.
When you say the caves, do you mean like the Wookiee Hole and all of that?
Yes, the famous place that's just up the road from Wookiee Hole. It's gone completely out of my
head.
Cheddar, that's the one. Cheddar Gorge and Caves. I'm going to see some relatives there, and the nearest campsite I could find.
Oh, you related to Cheddar Man?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, excellent.
It was Devizes.
Yeah.
And then I thought, okay, well, let's go a bit further north. And the nearest place I could find was in St. Neots.
Near Cambridgeshire.
Just along from Cambridge.
God, and if you'd looked a bit harder, there was another one in John O'Groats, which would have been local.
No, I wasn't going to go that far, and our van used to go so slowly that we would still be on the way there.
Tell me, so did you hold up traffic in your van?
We tried not to.
No, but did you? Did you find there were cyclists tutting ahead of them, going, God, look at this bloody motorhome, just taking up the whole
on
road.
If you go on the motorway, of course, everybody can pass you easily. And all the 40-footers were passing us easily. We only passed them going downhill because 45 miles an hour is our nominal top speed.
Going downhill, you haven't got any brakes.
But obviously going on trunk roads and maybe A roads was more pleasant.
Yes.
On a motorway slowly.
Yes.
But you do have to be aware that on
bridge and you're breaking half.
Carriageway roads, you obviously can't get people overtaking a 2.6 metre wide vehicle so easily. No. So you have to keep giving in. But on the other hand, there were quite a lot of dual carriageways. If you're on dual carriageway, obviously isn't a major problem.
A lot of those bypasses that you spoke about.
Well, no, but the A34 is
notoriously slow.
A long series of bypasses as it goes all the way from Wiltshire through Cambridgeshire.
Yes, I've been on that many times. So was it the best purchase? Would you recommend buying a motorhome?
Oh, it depends. It has its uses. It was a hell of a lot easier being in than a tent.
Yes. Oh, I can imagine.
Cooking and sleeping and everything. There's loads of room.
Yes.
It's very comfortable, even with 4 people and 2 dogs in it. It was fine. We only put the awning up once to make a bit more external space. The weather wasn't too bad. It was a test. It was an experiment, and we might use it again in a few weekends and go up to a festival in Wolverhampton.
Bonnie H says she hates motorhomes, yet she sits in a beach hut. Bizarre. You can do less in a beach hut than you can in a motorhome. What's the matter with you, woman? I'll tell you what. Yeah. Going
on these posh campsites and seeing what everybody else goes around in, there were several considerably older than our 20-year-old beats. They were in the 30s and plus, judging by the registration plates. But the vast majority were these hyper new, ridiculously expensive, enormous things that made our bus look tiny. And of course these enormous caravans and things as well. But then, like everybody on the club we goes with, tend to be sort of plus 65, and the kids have gone and they've decided to invest 70 grand of their pension into some.
That all these super new motorhomes that you see on the car. And when I drove down to Ferrum, I drove past 3 of them, taking Julia and Joe down to there. We passed 3. All in rapid succession. They were all almost identical. It's almost like a rally, although I'm sure they were all separate. And of course, I just thought, oh yeah, of course you've just bought these on furlough, haven't you? You've taken your furlough money and you've just bought them and gone, that's what we're going to do. And now, at the end of furlough, having been paid to be at home for a year, or 2 years nearly, we're going to go on holiday in the sodding things, because we now know what being in close proximity with each other is like. We've got used to it. In fact, we would go in a broom cupboard if necessary, because we love it. With a mask on, obviously. They hold their value, don't they? At the moment, you could flog that probably for more than you paid for it, because everyone's desperate to get away, and it's the thing.
Yes. I mean, we went to a few camping places because you buy a few things. They got tents, but all the caravans, all the trailers, all the motorhomes, gone. Right. Can't get one. You can't buy any more gas bottles. And in the West Country, you can't buy bottled water to drink, and you can't buy ice creams.
Is that right? Blimey.
The person people see is a delivery driver for your next door neighbour Morrison's.
Yes.
And he said he hasn't had any bottled water or ice creams to deliver to his customers for weeks.
You know why, though? You know why? Demand. They've been pinged. They've been bloody pinged, and they're all sitting at home. They would be driving all this stuff, but they're not allowed to go on the roads because they've been pinged and told that they're ill. And they're not ill because it was through the window and across the road and by the neighbour's dog who wagged his tail inadvertently.
Absolutely. Plus the demand has just gone bananas as everybody's rushed out and gone on holiday in the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, well, let's hope. I mean, I genuinely hope that the resorts that do house people during the holidays can actually earn some money, because they had sod all last year.
Yes, I'm.
So I know people are sort of going, oh, but it's very expensive in this country. You think, yeah, but whilst you've been sitting on furlough doing nothing, these poor hotels and bed and breakfasts and fish and chip shops that have only just managed to exist, and many of them disappeared because they couldn't, they need that money. They're trying to make up for last year and pay all the blooming debts and the loans the government have given them.
Well, I'll tell you, our 7-day trip, including membership to the organisation, the campsite fees, which were about sort of on average of work it out 40 to 45 pounds a night, I would say. All our food we ate out once with a friend in a posh restaurant, so that obviously tanked it up a bit. Our expenses for the four of us and everything else and diesel for our 555-mile trip came to £1,000.
Oh, well, there you are. It's a bargain, isn't it? It's 1 week.
Could have done a lot.
1 week's furlough money, that is. That's 1 week's furlough money. I can laugh at that because I haven't had any. I haven't had any help whatsoever from the government. Nothing. Not a penny. And no doubt at the end of the year, when I come to pay my taxes in the beginning of January, they'll be asking me for a lump sum because they'll be probably a bit poor.
Definitely.
Anyway, better go.
All you YouTubers, you make a fortune. So
we make an absolute fortune, as you know. Do you know, somebody said to me only today, says, if you're talking about, on your show, you talk about having buying a canal boat or buying some land. If you mention that on the show, nobody will give you any donations. I think you've got a ton of money. And I thought, well, that's true. But at the same time, Gary Lineker works for the BBC and he's on a huge amount of money, but nobody thinks about him working for nothing.
No.
Yeah, put that in your pipe and smoke it. I don't know why that came out, but it came out. Anyway, better let you get on and do something more valuable than talk to me.
Well, quite. You've got a show to do.
Yeah, that's true. Take care, Nigel. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Look after yourself. Bye-bye.
Everyone.
There we are. That was the lovely Nigel Sadler, who, as you heard, hated cyclists and would never buy a motorhome again. I hope I haven't misquoted him. Bonnie H is babbling on and on and on and on and on about how she hates motorhomes. She's boasting that she's travelled around the New Zealand, I assume NZ is. I mean, it could be anything. And then she obviously bought a horrible, lousy thing that rattled away. She says, and when you drive a motorhome into a town, it's too big to park. Don't drive it into a town. You're not supposed to drive it into a town, are you? You're supposed to drive it into the middle of nowhere and sit there and look at the mountains. That's what you do with a motorhome. That's the whole point of it. Get yourself a transit van, love. Oh, no. She's got a beach hut. We're going to have a look inside the beach hut. The marvels of Bonnie's beach hut we're going to have a look at, but not now because Nigel Sadler picked our ray of hope. We're going down to the country, ladies and gentlemen, having a stroll in the country to see a little bit of music from there. What can we hear from Farmer Piles, I beg your pardon, his farm? Is he playing a bit of country music? Let's find out.
A country music medley.
How about that, ladies and gentlemen? There we are. Lovely melody of country music. All of them featuring, where was it? Western-super-Mare. I think that's where it was anyway. Down there in Somerset. Although, you know, could have been somewhere else. Could have been overseas. Who knows? Certainly not I. I know nothing. Thank you so much, Ray. That was so delightful and entertaining. We do love it. Thank you very much for knocking them out. You've come on in leaps and bounds, may I say, on that keyboard of yours. And, of course, you keep us entertained with the figurines. What are they up to? What positions will they be in? Will that ferret or dog or whatever it was eat them? That is the question. Marvellous stuff. Let me just see if the lovely Julia happens to have strolled on. No, she's not there yet. She may not be there. I'm just having to keep a quick fresh eye and checking the emails as we go in case somebody sent something in. You never quite know on a show like this. It's all a bit bonkers. Don't forget, if you are enjoying the show, and why would you, do give us a thumbs up. That would be nice. If you hate the show and you think that we should shelve it and turn it into mincemeat, put it in one of my pies, give us a thumbs down. That would be very thankful and very kind of you. If you'd rather just ignore us completely, keep watching and don't press the thumbs at all. Least of all, leave a comment on the video because half the time I never see it anyway. So if you are one of those people who leaves a comment, I always suddenly go, oh, I wonder if anyone's left a comment on the show. And because I'm so used to seeing the comments live, I never think anybody's going to leave a comment after the show, but they do. And then I think, oh, I better go and say, thanks very much. Oh, thanks very much. Oh, that's very kind if you take my hat off. And then I think, golly, it's like I'm bowing and scraping to Lord Geoffrey, which is always a good thing. He's very nice. Ray says, no, he doesn't. That was Bonnie says something. She was going on again about the about the motorhome, something to do with the bicycle put on. She won't go into the grisly details. For goodness sake, I'm sure it is very nice. Mark Burgess says, that was great, Ray. Great stuff, says Station Master's Choice. Audrey Forbes is clapping like a good un. Daily Walker is also clapping. And Colonel Cragretti says, my first record I bought as a kid. It was a great tune. Yeah, that was it. Sensible Paul says, is that a ferret on his window sill with the models? Who can tell? And Michael White says, a Nero special, a Nero Safaro. Yeah, who had one of those, eh? Marvellous stuff. So that was all good. Now, don't forget, we are playing the game at 9 o'clock. It is What's My Opinion? In which you can ask an opinionated idiot if he has an opinion on any subject you like. And I will attempt, if I know anything about it or have an opinion on that subject, to answer it. Alternatively, of course, you can call in and have a chat with us. Just remember, the number is...
Sat on a ferret the other day. I sat on a ferret in the month of May. I sat on a ferret. Sat on a ferret.
You are watching the Vobes Show. Call us now on 0793 4746 790. We're waiting to hear from you.
As you can tell, the show works so much better when somebody else is doing the talking and I'm desperately trying to interrupt them. That's the best nature of the show. Coming up, we will be seeing Pete telling us about his wonderful favourite walk at Fareham Creek. I don't think I've been down there. And Bonnie is going to be showing us the lovely views from a beach hut in Brighton and Hove. I think it's Hove, actually. So let's have a look. Chaffinch, he says, what's your opinion on transsexuals at the Olympics? I don't know. I haven't watched the Olympics. Not really into people doing sport for the sake of it. I mean, I can't quite understand, never quite understood the point of things like throwing a shot put or the javelin. To me, they're just, I mean, the fact that one person can throw it a bit further than another, and we're talking by millimetres, or maybe an inch or whatever, seems pretty irrelevant, especially as the world is going through a pandemic, and there are a lot of things in this world that we need to sort out, and people are a bit worried about if someone can throw a piece of metal a little bit further than somebody else. So you have to bear with me on that. It does seem a little irrelevant. So I'm assuming that transsexuals now, because they seem to have proliferated, you must have obviously a men's thing, whatever that is, and a women's thing, and presumably a transsexuals class. So you've got 3, instead of 2, you've obviously got the 3. So, I mean, I've got no problem. If you're a transsexual and you want to compete against another transsexual, absolutely no problem with that. Why would that be a thing? It's not as if the transsexuals are pretending to be against women or against other men. That would be ridiculous, clearly. But if they're in their own class, you get a few transsexuals together, can be quite entertaining. I've inadvertently pressed the wrong button on the internet and found a few transsexuals doing things together that was mildly entertaining for a moment until that's not a javelin. And I had to quickly change the channel because I was blushing something rotten. Transit vans are better than transit man. Yeah, absolutely. You can ride a transit van. Well, you can probably do both, to be honest with you. Jackie says, sorry missed out on the programme tonight, various reasons, so we'll watch the recording on YouTube later. Hope everybody's well. Good to see Sid the Ferret. Yeah, Sid the Ferret is, the ferret is actually on the... Oh, yes, your ferret. Yes, of course. Sorry, the ferret. Yes, I beg your pardon. I'm a transistor, says Michael White. I used to have a transistor radio, but now I've gone digital. Val Pagnell says, what's your opinion on scam phone callers? More the merrier, I say. What they don't realise when they ring me is I've snatched up my recorder and I'm by the phone waiting for, an original scam to come through so that I can put it on YouTube and earn a bit of advertising revenue, which I do. Not very much, but it's more than what they get out of me. And I have actually said to them, I said, do you know, I'm going to put this on YouTube. And they've gone, oh, what? No, I'm definitely genuine. They do in their Indian accent. Oh, yes, there's it. No, we're definitely not scam callers. Oh, really? You do protest rather a lot. Oh, no, you do want to speak to my supervisor? Hang on, now, let me put you through to my supervisor. Hello, I'm the supervisor. Wait, you're just the same person with the same accent. Couldn't you have a different accent? Oh, no, we don't do different accents here. We only have a recording of a busy office. Yeah, it's all a bit mad. What's your opinion? I've just said that. Mark Burgess says, wasn't the Olympics some way to encourage competitive urges to be played out in a safe way rather than exercised through war and conflict? That sounds like a university answer to me. Are you a theologian or something? I have no idea. Some way to encourage competitive urges. Who has a competitive urge these days? What's Eric's opinion of the Vobes show? Oh, his opinion is, let me out, sir, let me out. Yes, that's his opinion. Sean James Cameron says, my friend has been told that if he doesn't have the jab by January the 1st, he won't have a job. No jab, no job. What does he do, your friend? I would walk. I would definitely walk if that was the case. Yeah, because you just don't know, do you, at this stage? Especially as, we don't want to get onto this as a subject, but... It's what's worrying, and I'm going to be very brief on this because I touched on it in The Naked Englishman, is if you have MMR and polio jabs and all those other things, they get rid of the pathogen, don't they? They get rid of it. This so-called vaccine doesn't seem to actually get rid of the thing it's supposed to. Bit of trade's description going on there, I think. Don't you? A bit of trade's description, what is it, against, not quite trade's, doesn't do what it says it's supposed to do on the tin, which is more dangerous if you actually jab everybody. If you do it to everybody, suddenly you're all still carriers and the pathogen has to work harder, it gets more violent, and then it stuffs it for everybody, including the person who's been, done twice and had the booster seats. So, is one of them. Oh, I know who you mean, the plumber in London. Yeah, well, he's a strange person, isn't he? The bloke who runs that. Have you seen him? What's he done to his face? He's had more plastic surgery than a plastic waste paper basket. Yeah, I would leave and just set up your own business. Leave and get some furlough money. Ray of Hope says time would work. FaceTime, yes, FaceTime. And Michael White says the double jabbed are super spread. Well, they are. This is the problem that people don't People don't realise. Never mind. The jabs will force it to evolve into a monster, says Flappy Goose, and that's absolutely right. That's my opinion. You may disagree with that, of course. Time will tell, of course. Time will tell. All I can say is, at the moment, we're in the sieve situation. The sieve. It's all the leaks are coming out. Everybody's still hoping that there's enough water to hold, but actually we're in the sieve situation, and all the leaks will come out, and we will discover what it is. I had leak in my pie, I can tell you, but my pie didn't leak when I cooked it. My steak pie, it was lovely. Let's go and have a look at Bonnie's beach hut then, shall we? What is the marvellous use of a beach hut you can have? Why should we pay £25,000 for a beach hut? Should we pay that money for a little shed on the seafront to give us that glorious sunshine? Maybe we should. Let's go and have a look.
You can probably hear the wind and see the rain. It's August the 4th, 2021, Hove Seafront. It's summer in England. And just to show you, the wind turned around just now and is now blowing all of the rain into the hut. I am completely drenched. Everything is wet. Even my tea has got rain in it. That's a bit of a sausage roll. I mean, it is lovely in here, but not when the rain is blowing in through the door. I did have the shower curtain going across, but it was like a spinnaker on one of those Olympic sailing boats, and then it smacked me in the face and soaked me with rainwater. So my plan was to come down here and read some books and set up my new little 1950s unit. 1960s, not sure. I had one of these when I was a kid growing up. And this is my little beach hut, which is normally very, very cosy. But today is a bit of a challenge. I have had 2 cups of tea, one full of rain, and this is really good. I heated up a sausage roll in that, which was a bit yummy. But as you can see, the rain has now coming fully into the beach hut. So I think I need to go home and jump in a hot bath, I think. So, a summer's day in Brighton and Hove isn't always what you were expecting. But I'm still laughing. Bye.
There you go. How about that? That is the life in the beach hut. Well done, Bonnie. Thank you for showing us. Oh, hello. Thank you for showing us the inside of your beach hut there, and of course the weather. You can't account for the weather, so that is so typical. But it did make you think. Actually, a window in the door would be quite nice that you could just slide across, so at least you could see out. Or patio doors. You know, those sort of sliding French doors. That would be quite useful. That would be nice. I'd love to see that in a beach hut. I didn't realise that Constanza still available to purchase? Is that still around? That would be interesting. Could be very tempted there, you know. I just need, obviously, a bit of GoFunding. Maybe everyone could GoFund me to go and live in a canal, then you wouldn't have to watch me each week. I've bought a transparent plastic shower curtain. Last of the big spenders there. I can give you a pink piece, a nice pink sheet. Works lovely on my van. You do get the occasional wet patch when you take it off, but it's a comedy value. You can't knock. You cannot knock the comedy value of that. Anyway, that looks very nice. Looks a cool place to hang out, says Michael White. Oh dear Bonnie, says Elaine. Human rights, says Mike White. Not quite sure what that's about. Nice one, Bonnie. Shame about the weather. Yeah, we've all had to suffer the weather at the moment. Bonnie says, I read that. Oh, what is that? You said, what do I think about cosmetic surgery? Is that the same as plastic surgery? I don't think that. I think the plastic surgery, mess about with Botox and all of that, abhorrent, absolutely abhorrent. I'd have nothing to do with it. Hideous stuff. The only surgery I've had to have was when my eye was removed, and I have got a plastic eye. Well, it's an acrylic eye actually, and the acrylic eye it does me no benefit whatsoever, other than it makes people, when they look at me, not run away in miles because I suddenly look weird as a cyclops and not as a thing. So I wear it principally for other people. Obviously, I wear it for my own self-confidence as well. But that is effectively plastic surgery that you can take in and out, like dentures. Although it's not plastic, it's acrylic, which it might be a form of plastic, I don't know. So like dentures, that type of surgery is fine. Anybody who has those, those great big breasts where they have implants and things, hideous things. I hate it. There you are on a Saturday night on your own, watching a bit of, something you shouldn't be, and out comes the star with great big plastic bags on her chest, and you think, oh, they look horrible. Certainly you see the scar and you see one bag and then you see the rest of it, and you think, that floating about there, ooh, I don't want to get my hands anywhere near that. Turn that off quick. See what's on. Is it all creatures great and small? I'd rather see a man stick his hand up a cow than anything else. Anyway, you can get videos that does that as well, but I'm not into that sort of thing. Talking of that, the lovely Julia has just come on stream with the wonderful Geronimo Joe. Let's see if we can bring them up on the screen. And the answer is we can, but I just have to do something to add them in. And there they are. Let me put my headphones on and say hello. Hello, Julia. Oh, hello. Is that the lovely
Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
Not too bad, thank you. This one is still very much awake, as you can tell.
Oh, yes, I can tell. Very much awake with his Fisher-Price toy from 1975.
74, yeah. Banshee.
That was a bit loud. That was because I can turn you down in the thing, but I can't turn you down in my monitor. I got you on a different feed. So you're very loud. Are you still there?
Yeah. Sorry, badly timed. Unmuting.
So I take it the little squirt has not gone to sleep yet. Then.
Nope.
Oh, swine! What is it? Have you got the hammer there?
Mallet. Donk.
Yeah, good old. You've got Timmy handy.
Yeah.
Hello, Joe. Can you hear me, Joe?
Are you saying hello?
Can you, Joe?
No, yes you can.
You can hit Joe. Listen to me. Listen. You are falling into a deep sleep. You are falling. Oh, what's happened to my reverb? There we go. You are falling into a deep sleep. You're falling into a deep sleep, you stupid little.
You are being very sweepy.
Very sweepy.
Oh, we'll go to sleep.
Dear, oh dear. Poor old Joe. Poor old Julia. Has he been like this all evening?
Pretty much.
Has he been like this all his life? All your life?
No, not all his life.
No.
He was a tiny baby once. You wouldn't believe it now. Oh, stop it.
Why are you in the dark?
Because we still haven't fixed the circuit in here.
Oh, I see.
So we're still running off the garage circuit
Right.
for the computer.
Okay. Cool, blimey. Sorry, because I've got you loud in the ear, and then when he shrieks, it's loud. It's not necessarily going out that loud. Sorry
about it. Give me 2 minutes, and I'll see if I can set him in the other room.
Yeah. Get the old club and whack him on the head. It'll be fine. Yeah, don't worry about the police and all of the violent stuff. Give him a pint of Guinness. There we are. That's what you need. Give him some of that mead.
A dram of brandy.
Yeah,
I don't have any mead.
Oh, you have a need for mead,
I have a need for mead.
only to get Joe to sleep.
He
Yeah. So
needs
there
to
we
help
go.
me cope with him. Joe.
Oh, there we are. They've gone off. Julia's managed to get the sleepy stuff finally. I'll post it tomorrow. Oh, yeah. We were just saying about that. We were thinking, that's funny. That soap, whatever it was. Oh, the sleepy stuff. The stuff that makes it... Yeah, Julia's desperate for it. Desperate for it. She's just disappeared. Hang on. How do I get out of there? I go back to that. Well, that was it. I'll go back to this. Yeah, Julia's desperate for something to knock the kid out. So if you've got any of that Mickey Finn... send it in. Mickey Finn, send it in. David Vance says, de plane. Yes, just smash the plane. I think Joe is going to end up being one of those pilots in years to come. What's Joe's opinion on money printing causing inflation? Says Flappy Goose. That is a very good question. Let's go back to the lovely Julia. Oh, hang on. Sorry, wrong button. Yes.
I've dismissed Joe.
It's been dismissed. Oh, well done. It's good to have you back without the loud,
Speedy screamer.
yeah, the loud cries in my luggo. Calpol and Calgon. Yes, the Lush shop was the first 2 times I went when it was open on Thursday. Oh, this is to get that sleepy stuff that's supposed to knock kids out, which would be good. What else have we got here? Michael White says, you could go for a run in a narrow boat. Can you sleep overnight in the hut? That's obviously a question to Bonnie. Hot now selling £40,000. What's hot selling for hots? Oh, huts, presume. Huts, £40,000 for a hut.
Did you see my comment about floating a boat?
Was that you saying that you could buy Costanza for the same price?
No, I said that yes, she has been floating a boat. Posted today that Constanza is ready for sale.
Oh, she's ready for sale. Well, I've better go. How much is it?
I didn't spot that.
Oh, but find out. We might have to go and buy
I'm assuming someone else in the chat does know.
I wonder where you could put it. I haven't really got a canal to shove it on. That's the only problem.
That's the only problem.
How do you cut your toast? Square or triangle? Who is he talking to? Me. How do you cut your toast?
What's
Square
your opinion
or
on toasts?
yeah. Ooh, a boat for sale, says Bonnie. There we are. She can buy one. 35,000. There we are. £35,000, says Kerry Baldwin. Do we hear any more? We could be the auctioneer. We've got 35,000 on there. Do I hear 40? 40,000. Yes. So the lady over there, 40, 50,000. Thank you. I've got 50,000, 55,000, 60,000 pounds for this lovely narrowboat Constanza. 50, 60,000, 70,000. We're now at 70,000. Can we make it up to 100,000? Anyone for 100,000? 100,000. Thank you. I've got the nod over there. 100,000. We're going to go for a bit more than 100,000. It's definitely worth it. It was in the YouTube videos floating you about 100,000, 105,000. Thank you, sir. 100. What was 102,000? Oh, see, only 102,000. Oh, okay. We got 102,000 with 98,000 over there. 98,000. What?
Does that link actually shown up in the comments?
It's just come up there. Apollo Duck.
What? Well, that's obviously the website that it's advertised on. But that's Constanza.
Oh, here we go. Let's have a little look.
35,000.
So, Boat Finder Brokerage Services, Kingslock Boatyard, Booth Lane, Middlewich in Cheshire. We have £35,000 for this interesting boat. As you can see there, it is floating at the moment, and it has been afloat. We have videos to prove it. There is another picture of it, and there is the same picture. There's a picture with a bit of plastic on it, which obviously makes it more alluring. That is the whole length of it. Some bits of it are blue, and other bits are red, although you could probably change the colour if you so wished, but don't add any more holes. They've managed to plug the ones that are in the side there very well with glass, and there's a picture of what looks like
semi-trad rear,
a semi-traditional boat rear, and it's got the words Constanza on it, which
actually says traditional.
Don't know what that means. And there is some wires and hoses. I think an octopus has got in there. Some awful
You've forgotten the most important part, though.
What's that?
Previously owned by the wonderful couple called Rich and Fran.
Oh, yeah, there we are. Look, and it comes with the dinette. which is nice. And it's got laminate flooring if you need it, and it's got all the pipes on the outside so you can see if you've sprung a leak. And there's the inside with a blue. Never saw it with a blue chair like that. Never saw that.
I think it was covered. I think she
did have it covered. Yeah. It's,
yeah.
Lots of pictures
Evie
in there.
Fran, they're lovely.
Yeah, look at that. 35 grand. As you know, it's on its last legs and is likely to sink at any minute. No, don't be silly. It's a bargain at half the price. So it should be 70,000, but actually they're selling it for 35. Do we have any bidders out there? Is anybody going to buy it? What have we got? Get a bid in, Richard. Tell them you know the owners and you might get fun. How about crowdfunding? I think we should. Oh, thanks. That was the wrong bloody. There we are. I think we should crowdfund it. Let's buy it. We need probably an extra £10,000 to keep it on the moorings and pay all the canal fees and everything else. So we better get 45,000. So who's going to start off? Who's going to send in the first £1,000 of the evening? Who's got the first £1,000? And then we'll get it going. Let's have a look. Send it to me, richard@vobes.com, onto the PayPal account. Just send me an email saying you've done that, along with your bank transfer. Or, of course, you can send in the £40,000 directly. We're happy to receive it all in one go.
Lord Jeffrey Howson has started us off with £5.
There we are, £5. We've got £5. Do I hear 10? £10. Do I hear 10,000? We need 35,000. £2 of every subscriber, and we're like, well, we would actually, yeah, with 20,000 subscribers on the Bald Explorer channel, if they all chipped in at tuppence, we would have it. We would have adventures on the riverbank with Hammy Hamster and the lovely Julia and a bull bloke and Geronimo Joe.
You change your name now to Hammy Hamster.
I would. Do you take Green Shield stamps? Unfortunately, what do you think I am? Lickability Brown? Crowdfunding invites investors. No, we're not inviting any investors. We're inviting people who want to chuck the money at us. Certainly none of that investors' business. What do we get for our grands, says Mark Burgess. You get lots of entertainment. You get more entertainment than you would just watching this show. You'll get a show about boats. Nope, says he's not going to put any money in. Wise Owl says jaundice and jaundice sounds interesting. Don't know what they're on about. Thanks, Wise Owl. What else have we got? Do take green shirt. Done all that? Yes.
Said jaundice, but
well,
jaundice, jaundice.
That was
Jaundice.
Short-lived. That was short-lived. I helped generate £800,000 via crowdfunding for a project, says Sean James. Well, get the 800,000. We only want 35. Well, 40 really, 45 because of the moorings. Turn into a calf and go up and down the canal, says Lord Jeffrey. We've got a phone call. Let's find out who that is. Hello, caller.
5 minutes to the end.
Oh, 5 minutes to the end. We've got one more video to come in yet. But before that, let's say hello to the caller. Hello, caller.
Sean James Cameron, London.
Yeah, £800,000 you may well have got, mate. We want 40. How do we go about it?
I would genuinely put a video up on your Bald Explorer and talk about the boat and just say, just £2 each, or if you're feeling flush, £4, £5, and who knows, you'll be there.
Yeah, but I'd only get I would get about a couple of £100 probably. Say even if I got £1,000, let's say I got £1,000 from there. I mean, be realistic now, just for a moment. £1,000, I would take off and go to the south of France immediately, pretend I bought the boat. No. What would I do? I'd have £1,000. I'd have to send it all back if I didn't make the 40 grand or 35 grand because we just wouldn't be able to buy the boat.
No, you could crowdfund is that there are two ways. You either have to reach the target and you don't get the money,
yeah,
or you attempt for the target and then whatever you get, you just keep.
Yeah, and then go to prison when people say, "Oi, you didn't buy the boat."
No, you can go in your chronicle then and say, "Well, this is the boat."
Yes, perhaps we could buy it in instalments. I'll give you 2 knicker, says Michael White. That's great. One for Julia, one for me. We can both wear knickers.
And everybody can spend a week on it that contributed.
Bonnie says crowdfunding is surprising. I've done crowdfunding before and it didn't work. didn't have a big enough audience, and I don't think I still have a big enough audience not to get 40,000. Because people would see. So it's different if you've got Uncle Tom Cobley who's disabled, dying of AIDS, and is a lesbian with a bit of COVID in the left leg, and his teeth are riddled with gout. If you've got somebody like that, also his ears are transsexual, and this week they are surfacing as kneecaps. Then people will give money because they'll feel sorry for some poor sod like that. But if you're trying to crowdfund something and they think, hang on, let me just get this right, you want the money to buy a boat, they're not going to do it, are they? They just think...
I've done 2 crowdfunders.
He's fleecing everyone again, that's what they'll say.
They say we're fleecing them all. We're fleecing them. Do you know, I mean, it's hard enough to strap people in their seats and get them to watch this rubbish.
Yeah, and getting the matchsticks in their eyes, it's just impossible.
Sorry, Sean.
One crowdfunder raised 800,000, but the person that was heading it up was David Icke, but that's another story.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you mentioned it then.
A YouTuber's greenhouse burnt down. I don't know how that happened, but his greenhouse burnt down. And we generated 3,500, and we have to switch it off in the end because it was getting embarrassing because you only needed 3,000.
Yes. Well, I think 3,000 is a lot less than 35,000. I think it's a great. I think it would be lovely if everybody felt they owned a bit of the boat and they got a video out of it. And
a day out on it with
and a day out. 35. Everyone gave £1. That's 35,000 people coming onto the boat. It would sink. But
Well,
maybe over you schedule it over 25 years, and you could probably do it. A canal boat is very appealing, says Bonnie H. Yes, that's very true. But they
rattle as well, though. But they're a lot more pleasant about their rattle, I think.
And then what Julia could do is she could just leave.
Well, she could sit on the top singing. The singing boat going up and down the thing would be marvellous.
The two of you could go out for the day and just leave the child in with all the visitors.
With all the visitors, yeah. It's not a sensible idea. Lord Jeffrey is going up to £6. He wonders, you'll have to walk around the garden 100 times, says Daily Walker. Yeah, they probably would. Well, I could walk around the boat when we bought it, And
you could even borrow Jojo's little multicoloured walker.
Oh, thanks. Listen, Sean, thank you for that. We better go and play in our last video of the night, which we shall do. Thank you very much to Sean. Very kind of him to call in with such a ridiculous proposal. But you never know. Worse things happen at sea, and we could end up with a boat we don't need. Let's hope we do. Somebody, I always think, you never know who's watching. Richard Branson might be watching and going, I haven't done a good deed for a long, long time. I'll buy them a boat. All right, Rich? Rich, you might do. You owe me one, remember? He does owe me because I'd set up the third floor mime company many years ago, and I wrote to him asking him for 10 grand. And he didn't reply, and I wrote to him again, he didn't reply, and I wrote to him about 10 or 12 times, and I had a reply from the secretary saying, no, Richard Branson, this isn't for him, blah, 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 go away. And I said, I want to hear from him. I don't believe you've actually given him my letter. He's an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur, I want to set up a mime company and travel around doing good things. And eventually, by doing that, he did say, no, it's not for us, but thanks very much for writing in, persistently. And I thought, okay, well, I've got a better idea. We'll have a canal boat and we'll do videos from it. Never been done before. No one, apart from previous owners, has been on a canal boat and videoed it and stuck it on YouTube. Have they, Julia? Have they done that?
No, not many. Not
that we know of.
The hundreds of people that do it.
Exactly.
Including the musical ones.
Yeah, there we are. Look, Richard could live in the boat and rent out his house to a budding YouTuber. Yes, this house could be yours. You could come into the studio and do a Vobes show every night that I used to do them. And I could just live in the lap of luxury, plugging holes as the thing goes down. Yeah, there we are. Sell Sir Richard Branson's letters, says Audrey. Yeah, who would want that? Saying, no thanks, we don't want you. You're not worth a thing. And then years later, here am I, still not worth a thing. Don't think that's going to work. Pete Telling has sent in a disguise as Colonel Cragratty, and he's going to take us on his famous walk around Fareham, his favourite walk, I beg your pardon. Shall we have a look at that, lovely Julia?
Yes.
Yes, let's have a look. There we go. A little bit of local Fareham, which I guess, lovely Julie, you must know quite well, seeing as you come from close to that area.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually walked around the creek itself, but I've driven around there plenty of times.
Ah, I didn't know you could drive on water, but hey.
Around the creek.
Oh yes, sorry, I'm just being pedantic.
Yeah. Why not?
Why
It's
not?
good fun, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, thanks. Sean James Cameron, thank you very much, Pete. That was lovely, by the way. We're coming to the end of the show if we've not already surpassed the end of the show. This is the lock-in part of the show, the Friday lock-in. Sean says, if you put your van on the narrow boat, then you're covering all the bases on YouTube. That's very true. You've probably got everything. Just need to talk in an American accent and you'll be away. I think Branson is still in space, somebody says. So, well, maybe if he gives me the money, I'll let him back in the country. Yeah. Maybe we should leave him up there.
Let him back into the atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely. Lovely music, a bit of Ben's sound there. And Deborah Martin says, I must go for a walk there. It's not far from me. Same as Julia, never walk round it. That's it. Beautiful part of the world, I'm told. Well, we just saw, didn't we? Thank you very much. And a big thank you to Colonel Craig Ratty, who helped me with my van. And when I get my canal boat, he can help me with that too.
And a massive thank you to you, Richard, for giving me and Joe a lift down to see my mum.
No, it was all right. Your mum,
at the end of the day.
Your mum very kindly stuffed some food into my mouth, which was very nice of her.
Although you did manage to stuff it yourself into your mouth.
Oh,
she
yes.
didn't have to hand feed.
She did. That's true. Yes, you've ruined the illusion now. Station Master's Choice says, of course, the narrowboat with the transit van on the top needs to be at the railway station to cover all the bases. Yeah, that's true. We'd have all the railway enthusiasts, and of course, what you need is a little bit of AstroTurf on there, and you walk up and down. So you'd have the railway enthusiasts, the camper van enthusiasts, the canal boat enthusiasts, and of course the walkers. They'd walk on because walkers love nothing better than a bit of AstroTurf, apparently. Bonnie says Julia looks like she's in a 16th century Flemish oil painting by candlelight. That's very particular. She probably is, actually. She is an oil painting herself. Hello, lovely Julia. You're muted. Is that because Joe's making a noise? And
yes.
Oh, marvellous. Fareham is a beautiful place, says Tracy Murphy. And Sean says it's a very relaxing show. It has been. Thank you very much for all the subjects for What's My Opinion. Great to see little Joe there, looking very awake, which I'm sure Julia would prefer. He was looking more asleep. Hope he does go to sleep at some point for her. Thanks to Judith and Julia for moderating, making sure everything goes nice and swimmingly, and to all of you for making all the comments. To Nigel Sadler and Sean James Cameron for the phone call. Pete Telling. And Bonnie and Ray of Hope for your wonderful videos, which has been absolutely fantastic. And Julia and Joe for making a loud appearance at the end. And there it is. That's the shrieking sound of Geronimo Joe. Next week, of course, he may well not have a tongue. Or whatever it is in the gizzard that makes a noise. But he's got the waving. He's waving away. Marvellous. We love it. It's nice to see him anyway. What is the plan for next week? Did I see that? What is your plans for the weekend, Richard, says Sean James Cameron. Well, tomorrow I'm taking a walk with Mr. Suggett, actually, to ensure that the Bald Explorer walk, which is on the 21st of this month, is all passable and doing. So we're going to do a test run of that. But God knows what's happening on Sunday. Probably have a day off to recover. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks, Julia. It's great to see you. A bit of sign language to Julia because she can't hear us. We won't send all your paintings back. If you send them to us, we will rip them up and put them in the bin. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
the badly timed unmuting. Sorry.
Yes. Wait, there's baby quietness.
Just spinning a propeller.
Marvellous. Anyway, there we are. That's it. Thanks so much. Look after yourselves. From the lovely Julia and I, thank you for coming on the show at the end.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Have a great weekend. Back again on Monday. We will see you then. Look after yourselves. There's a video, of course, on the Board Explorer for tomorrow. But in the meantime, from Julia, Joe and I, arrivederci, toodle pip. Bye-bye.
Bye.